Welcome back, everyone. Yes, we have a Premier League game against Burnley at Old Trafford, and after that humiliating penalty defeat by Grimsby Town in the Carabao Cup, a lot of questions were asked about Ruben Amorim and his future, questions about Kobbie Mainoo and his Manchester United future. But Ruben Amorim in his press conference looked quite confident. He basically said that that's how he felt after the game. And yes, he said certain things, but that is how he is. And that is what the media and the journalists need to be prepared for. That is the type of character that he is. He's very emotional. He'll say things like it is. And especially in a time when you're trying to find answers as to why the team didn't perform, it's difficult to get a clear sense of thoughts when you are being bombarded with questions of what happened, why did you lose, why didn't the team turn up, etc., etc. These things happen, but again, no excuses. We should have won Grimsby. Not saying that we played better than them, no. Again, it came down to us underestimating them, not turning up. Same old from Manchester United and some of their players. But Burnley in itself offers an opportunity for us to get a win. It must be a win. Let's get that very clear. This is a must-win game for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. Because if we don't, easily he could be sacked. Easily you will find certain players being told to leave the club. It is going to be a game where Burnley comes to us with a bit of confidence. They certainly didn't do well in their first game against Spurs, but in their second game against Sunderland, they did quite well and won 2-0 at home. And when they do come to Old Trafford, they saw how we played against Grimsby. They saw what can be done to a Man United team that doesn't have that much confidence. And of course, playing at Old Trafford hasn't been a very good ground for us. And it hurts to say that because Old Trafford is supposed to be a fortress. It's supposed to be a place where before the team even walks out of the tunnel, the opposition is already defeated. That's gone. That fear factor that used to be around Old Trafford for opponents, it's gone. Opponents come now to Old Trafford and they find it quite easy to play against us. Now, our last game at Old Trafford against Arsenal was certainly a very good performance, even though we lost, yes. But we played much, much better than Arsenal. And again, we're still talking about it 2 weeks later. We should have won that game. Against Fulham, we should have won as well based on how we started. But again, we didn't stay true to our conviction in the way we started against Fulham. Grimsby Town came and we just weren't up for it, and we basically got given what we put out. That is why we lost. We didn't give enough. We didn't give what we were supposed to give against Grimsby Town. But Burnley certainly will be a team that will try to cause trouble for us, especially from set pieces, knowing that we have frailties and vulnerabilities from getting a ball put into our box, whether it be a corner or, of course, a free kick. I want to see Amorim not bite the bullet, as they say, but I want him to be ruthless in how he chooses his starting 11 and also how he makes certain changes in the second half if need be. He can't continue to play the same type of players. I'm talking about the Diogo Dalot's. I'm talking about the Onana and Bayender. They do not, one, give much confidence in terms of what they do, especially in the goalkeeping situation. Dalot hasn't been good for Amorim since Amorim has come in. He's always seemed to either have an okay game or he makes a mistake that costs us a goal or costs us the game. And there's many examples since Ruben Amorim came in and Dalot not having a very good game. So there needs to be some ruthlessness. There needs to be a sense of, this is what I'm going to do and it's going to work. Because Sir Jim, Ineos, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, they are backing Ruben Amorim. They still believe that he is the man to take Manchester United to the top back, competing for top honours. But certain things need to change. There needs to be, as I keep saying, a sense of ruthlessness. We do need to bring in a midfielder. We do need to bring in another goalkeeper, a better goalkeeper at that. Maybe it is Sen Lemens, but there's no talk of a deal being done right now. There's no talk of a midfielder coming in. Even though you have Garnacho, that is basically a Chelsea player, you have Hojlund potentially on his way to Napoli. Anthony maybe could be a Real Betis player before the end of the window. But these things don't help us because we need to get the midfielder in. We need to get in the goalkeeper. Can we get those two players in before the end of the window? It's going to be tough because that's on Monday. It's going to be a heavy, heavy turnaround in the next 2 or 3 days in order for us to bring in two players. That is a necessity. And if we don't bring in those two players, we're stuck with Casemiro, Bruno, Mainu, Ugarte. Four midfielders only, and Bruno's not even a central midfielder. He's a pure number 10, playing out of position in order to accommodate him in the team. That's why there's this struggle between Amorim trying to decide between Mainu and Bruno, because the captain is the captain. And Mainu, of course, is a much better midfielder, if not a pure midfielder, compared to Bruno Fernandes. But it's difficult for Amorim because if you put Bruno in the number 10, that means Cunha or Mbumo needs to be on the bench. If you put Bruno in the number 10 or in a false 9 even, that means Sesko has to be on the bench. There will always be someone that's going to be sacrificed in order for a certain sense of bringing Bruno into the team. And Bruno himself will tell you, I'm not a midfielder, I'm not a number 8. I want to play as high as possible up the pitch, and that would be in the number 10 position. And that is why Ruben Amorim finds himself in the position that he does. Now, for the starting 11, as I said, there needs to be ruthlessness. So in goal, it needs to be Tom Heaton. Bayender and Onana do not give the backline or us as United fans any confidence that they can keep the ball out of the net, especially when the ball is being delivered into the box. So Tom Heaton needs to be in goal until we can sort out the goalkeeping situation, because that is going to cost Amorim his job if he continues to choose goalkeepers that are going to make mistakes. The back three, which are the first two games in the Premier League, was Euro, De Ligt and Shaw. So I think Ruben Amorim will revert back to that. In midfield, as you can see, I went with Bruno and Kobbie Mainoo. We need more ball control. We need to be more mobile in terms of playing the ball out from the back, but also being able to keep the ball in the attacking third and playing through the lines. With Ugarte, most of the time our ball playing breaks down. With Casemiro, he does have a very good long pass on him and does see certain passes, but again, his legs doesn't allow him to move where he wants to move. And even though he provides us with a bit of solidity in terms of being a threat in the air when we are attacking, but also very, very good in the air defensively for us, it does bring us with a problem in terms of who Amorim plays next to Bruno, next to Kobbie Mainoo. Because you go with Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte, it's two good midfielders. But again, easily bypassed. This has happened before. You play Bruno and Casemiro, experience, players who know how, but again, once they are bypassed, it's difficult for them to catch up and try and defend, especially in transitions. So for me in this game, we are playing at home. The onus will be on us to create chances, to score goals, to keep the ball and use the ball well. So Bruno and Kobbie in midfield for me. They did quite well against Grimsby. I know they're a League 2 team, but we looked much more better on the ball when Bruno and Kobbie were playing in midfield together. And Amorim tried that with Mount and Bruno in the game against Fulham. So play Mainoo and Bruno from the start and have us more in control of the ball. Ahmad right wing back, Dogo left wing back of course, and the front three, Sesko, Mbumo and Cunha. That is the team I think Ruben Amorim should be going with and is strong enough to get a win against Burnley, especially at Old Trafford. But it is a must win. We have to win, because if we don't, Ruben Amorim will be asked questions and potentially he could easily be sacked. This could be a last chance for Ruben Amorim if he does not get a win in this particular game. And don't get me wrong, the players are not faultless. There will be heads that will be rolling if we do not turn up at Old Trafford for Burnley. It's normally the smaller teams where the team does not turn up, where the players just feel, it's not City, it's not Liverpool, it's not a European game, I don't care, I'm not going to turn up, I'll just go through the motions. And that's what happened against Grimsby Town. They probably thought, it's a League 2 team, we'll be okay. Oh, they scored, cool, yeah, and they scored again, yeah, it's fine. And we lost because of their weak mentality, which is something we are still struggling with since Sir Alex has retired. But I'm not going to be talking here about the same things. We focus on Burnley as the next game, and as I keep saying, it has to be a win for Ruben Amorim, for the players, and of course for Manchester United and us as fans. But you let me know in the comment section who you want Ruben Amorim to start in this game. Do you think Ruben Amorim's time is running out? Let me know in the comment section. And also let me know what you think about the Kobbie Mainoo situation. Is Ruben Amorim correct? Is he incorrect? Is Mainoo correct? Is he incorrect? I want to know your opinions. Have a wonderful weekend, Red Devils. Till we see each other again soon in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.